Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be making these incredible sourdough bagels. You're going to start out with 100 grams of your active sourdough starter. You're going to add 250 grams of warm water. You're going to mix that up until you get that milky consistency. And then you are going to add 30 grams of white sugar. I'm just using pure cane sugar granulated. And then you are going to add 10 grams of salt to that and mix it in as well. After that's all mixed together, you are going to add 500 grams of your bread flour, and you're going to mix that until everything is incorporated. I started off with my spoon and then ended up just using my hands to get everything mixed up. So after that is all incorporated, you are going to knead this dough for 10 minutes. You could definitely use a dough hook if you have a KitchenAid. I just prefer to use my hands for this because I can kind of just get a better idea of how my dough is feeling. So just put on a timer. You're going to do this for 10 minutes. And your dough is going to start to come together. It's not going to be sticky or shaggy. It's going to get really smooth and build tension and just be really easy to work with. Actually, around that 5-minute mark is when you're going to notice the dough coming together. And then by that 10 minutes, it's going to feel perfect. So it's been 10 minutes. I'm just going to throw it back in a bowl. I'm going to cover it with a damp tea towel, and I'm going to let this sit on my counter overnight. So it ended up sitting for probably about 11 hours, and you can see it doubled in size. It looks beautiful. It has those air pockets in it. And so I'm just going to scrape that out of the bowl. The texture is going to be a lot different than if you're just working with a regular sourdough bread loaf. So keep that in mind. It's not going to be sticky at all, and it's going to be very easy to work with. So I'm just kind of stretching it out a little bit, and then I'm going to start cutting it into 6 pieces for 6 bagels, and those actually make pretty big bagels. So if you want yours a little bit smaller, I would recommend splitting it into 8 sections, or you could even do 10, honestly, because it makes pretty big bagels. So after you have it all sectioned out, you're just gonna start rolling each piece out, kind of stretching it out into a longer shape, and that's how we're gonna start the shape of the bagel. It definitely does not have to be perfect. These did not come out perfectly circular, but they were still incredible, so don't worry about it. And so you're just going to kind of bring that into a circular shape. You're gonna pinch both ends together to make sure that they stick when you're boiling them. And yeah, they turned out perfect. And you can roll these out more if you want them to be thinner. I liked mine to be a little bit thicker, which is why I didn't really spend too much time rolling them out. So you're gonna lay those all on parchment paper. I cut up the parchment paper so each bagel had its own. And you're gonna let these do a second rise on your counter for about 45 minutes to an hour. So they just finished their second rise, and I'm gonna start boiling a pot of water so we can get them boiling. So you are going to boil each bagel for 30 seconds on each side What's really great about the parchment paper is that as soon as you put it in the water, you can grab some tongs and it comes right off, which is perfect. And you can flip it over, do another 30 seconds, and that is it. You're going to do that for each bagel. And you just want to be gentle with them when you're taking them out of the water because they will break apart if you handle them too rough. So maybe even use a spatula instead of tongs just to be a little more gentle on them. While these bagels are still wet and on the plate, I'm going to add my seasonings to them. So I did everything bagel seasoning, and then I did 1 or 2 with just regular salt, and it came out so good. What's really great is you don't have to do an egg wash or anything like that because the bagels are wet from being boiled, so the seasoning is going to stick perfectly. So you're going to preheat your oven to 400 degrees, and these are all going to go in for about 20 to 25 minutes. You can kind of eyeball it. You just want them to be golden brown on top, so you can make them as crispy as you want, but just in general, I feel like 20 minutes is an average time. So here they are out of the oven. They came out so beautiful. They smelled incredible. I wish you guys could smell this because my entire house smelled so good. And they just came out perfect. This recipe was so easy to do. I was so shocked at how easy it was and how good it came out. And the inside of them looks beautiful as well. You can see it came out with just like the perfect amount of little air bubbles, and it was just incredible. So please try out this recipe. Let me know how it goes. And thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next video.